Good morning, kindergarten. Today I wanted to teach you about some shapes. We are going to be looking at and naming 2D shapes. So first, let's look at some of our vocabulary. The first vocabulary word I want you to remember is the word vertex or vertice. When you hear that word, I want you to think about the points that you see in a shape. We find those points by circling them, okay? The next vocabulary word that I want you to know is the lines or the sides of a shape. We mark the sides of the shape by counting around the outside, okay? The next vocabulary word that I want you to remember is the word space, and that's just the room that's inside the shape, okay? The last vocabulary word that I want you to remember is the word 2D or two-dimensional, and that just means flat, okay? So we are going to name 2D shapes today. So let's talk about some different shapes that you might know. I'm going to erase my whiteboard here. The first shape that you might already know is called a circle. So I'm going to draw a circle here, and I'm going to write its name. This is a circle. All right. There are no points or vertices. Okay. It's just a round shape. Pretty easy, right? Okay. The next shape that we are going to look at is called a triangle. Now, what's really cool about the word triangle is that tri means three. So what you can remember is when we are looking at a triangle that you are going to look for three vertices or points. So 1, 2, 3. You could also look for three sides. So I might do 1, 2, 3. Now triangles are kind of fun because you can make triangles long and skinny, and that's, oops, here we go. That's still a triangle. You can make triangles like this, and that's still a triangle because if I count my vertices or my points, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? The next shape that we are going to talk about is called a rectangle. So I'm going to write our word up here. Okay? A rectangle is really cool because it has 4 vertices and it also has 4 sides. Okay, the cool part about rectangles though is that there are 2 short sides and 2 long sides. So look, short, short, long, long. Okay, your rectangle might stand tall. Your rectangle might lay flat and be skinny. Okay, your rectangle might look kind of like a square, which we're going to talk about next. So 4 sides and 4 vertices, 2 long and 2 short. The next shape that we are going to talk about is called our square. So let me write that on here for you. Now, a square also has 4 sides and 4 vertices or points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Same as the rectangle, but here's the difference. In a square, all of the sides are exactly the same. So you can't make a tall, skinny square, or you can't make a square lay flat and be real long across the bottom because that would be a rectangle, all right? So squares have 4 vertices, they have 4 sides, but all the sides are exactly the same, okay? The next shape that we are going to talk about is called a pentagon. Now, penta is another cool word because penta means 5, okay? So pentagon, when I draw my pentagon, it kind of looks like a house. So I'm going to make the top of my house, I'm going to make the sides of my house, and I'm going to make the bottom of my house. Now let's count our vertices and let's count our sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now pentagons sometimes look like a house, but they might also look a little bit like this. So the walls of the house might be a little bit pointing out, and that's okay too, okay? So make sure that if you think it's a pentagon, that you still count your vertices or your sides, okay? The next shape that we are going to talk about today is called a hexagon. Let me write that on here. A hexagon is also really cool because hex means 6, okay? So you might have seen this shape outside when your family is driving, or maybe even when you're on a walk. A hexagon is the shape of a stop sign. Hexa means 6, so let's count our vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I counted my sides, they would be the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little trick with looking at shapes is to always remember that the points or the vertices and the lines that make the shape are the same. So if I'm looking at a triangle, I have 3 points, I have 3 lines, okay? If I look at a rectangle or a square, I'm gonna have 4 vertices or points, and I'm gonna have 4 lines. They're the same number, okay? If I'm looking at a pentagon, even if the pentagon might be a little stretched or tall, might look like a house, it's still going to have 5 vertices or points and 5 sides, okay? And of course, a hexagon has 6 vertices or 6 points and 6 sides. So you are going to be getting some practice work on our different online learning platforms with shapes. Some of you have already done a lot of practice with shapes, which is really exciting. I want to remind you to always, always, always count those vertices, okay? Or count the sides. All right, the last thing that I want you to remember is the names of those shapes, okay? So 3 sides, 3 vertices, you have a triangle. 4 could be a rectangle or a square. 5 is a pentagon, and 6 is a hexagon. And these are all of our 2D or our flat shapes. Our next video we're going to take a look at is going to talk about 3D shapes. So I will be checking in with you later. Have a great day and do an awesome job with your practice on shapes. Bye-bye.